Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about some books that I've had on my shelves for 5+ years, but these are all books that I've thrifted a long time ago. So there's quite a bit to get through. So let's just jump into it. The first three that I have are all Oprah's book club books. And I got these, one, because the covers were really nice, and two, because they have Oprah's stamp of approval. So the first one is The House of Sand and Fog by Andre Dubus III. I got this one because it looked creepy and mysterious, and while I knew it wasn't going to be creepy, I knew it would at the very least be mysterious. By the way, I don't know anything about these books. I may have read the backs of it when I was picking them up, but after having read the backs the first time, I don't think I've ever really revisited them. In this riveting novel of almost unbearable suspense, three fragile yet determined people become dangerously entangled in a relentlessly escalating crisis. Colonel Bahrani, once a wealthy man in Iran, is now a struggling immigrant willing to bet everything he has to restore his family's dignity. Kathy Niccolo is a troubled young woman whose house is all she has left and who refuses to let her hard-won stability slip away from her. Sheriff Lester Burdon, a married man who finds himself falling in love with Kathy, becomes obsessed with helping her fight for justice. Drawn by their competing desires to the same small house in the California hills and doomed by their tragic inability to understand one another, the three converge in an explosive collision course. Combining unadorned realism with profound empathy, House of Sand and Fog marks the arrival of a major new voice in American fiction. Okay. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to read something like this anytime soon. As I said in a previous video, I was kind of wanting to pick up more fun, lighthearted books while I am still going to read all the sad, emotional, real life stories that I already own. I will be buying something more light every now and then, but for this one, I don't think I'll read anytime soon. Maybe possibly next year. Isn't that what we all say? The next one with Oprah's stamp of approval is Jewel by Brett Lott. In the backwoods of Mississippi, a land of honeysuckle and grapevine, Jewel and her husband Lustin are truly blessed. They have 5 fine children. When Brenda Kay is born in 1943, Jewel gives thanks for a healthy baby, last born and most welcome. I can't read today. Jewel is a story of how quickly life can change, how like lightning, an unforeseen event can set us on a course without reason or compass. In this story of a woman's devotion to the child who is both her burden and God's singular way of smiling on her, Brett Lott has created a mother-daughter relationship of matchless intensity and beauty, and one of the finest, most indomitable heroines in contemporary American fiction. Okay. I feel like this one would be the last of Oprah's book club book that I would probably pick up, but I still want to read it eventually. The third one is White Oleander by Janet Fitch. I got this one because, well, I guess these books were kind of all together, so I was like, I'll just grab all three, why not? Astrid is the only child of a single mother, Ingrid, a brilliant, obsessed poet who wields her luminous beauty to intimidate and manipulate men. Okay. Astrid worships her mother and cherishes their private world full of ritual and mystery. But their idol is shattered when Astrid's mother falls apart over a lover. Deranged by rejection, Ingrid murders the man and is sentenced to life in prison. I love crime. Love it. I don't love crime like in the real world. I love reading about them. Crime is not good. Crime is bad. White Oleander is the unforgettable story of Astrid's journey through a series of foster homes and her efforts to find a place for herself in impossible circumstances. Each home is its own universe with a new set of laws and lessons to be learned. With determination and humor, Astrid confronts the challenges of loneliness and poverty and strives to learn who a motherless child in an indifferent world can become. Okay. I'd read it. This, I think, would be the first one I'd pick up. The next set of books are actually from Book Sparks. I don't know if anyone remembers, don't mind my dog, I don't know if anyone really remembers Book Sparks. I just remember people tagging them on their Bookstagram. And so I looked them up and I guess I signed up for a newsletter and then I must have signed up for their box of arcs, which I thought was really cool. I ended up getting 2 boxes for free for 2 different months. And out of each box set, I think, or out of both box sets combined, I probably had only read maybe 2 or 3 books to completion. Yeah. And then, because, books are always coming out. There's always something new. There's always new authors. There's books from your favorite authors and all that stuff. So eventually they got put on the back burner. And I guess I eventually decided that I wasn't going to pick them up anytime soon or at all. So I ended up gifting them to family who likes to read. But I kept 4 of them. Okay, so the first one is A Vote for Remy by Leanna Lehman. And I'm pretty sure I kept this one because of the cover. It's really cute. It's blue, it's simplistic, and it's just pretty. Passionate, dedicated U.S. government teacher Remy Covington is always trying to get her students involved in the democratic process. So when they pull a prank on her and somehow manage to get her on the ballot for President of the United States, she feels she has to play along. In a nation wary of politics and career politicians, Remy quickly finds herself the darling of the American public. Cute. She lacks the resources, pedigree, and background to be taken seriously, and she has only her wits, her kids, and a passion for doing the right thing at her disposal. But much to everyone's surprise, including hers, the country becomes enamored by her genuine, relatable, down-to-earth image, and as the campaign goes on, Remy makes an unexpected discovery. She might be exactly what America needs. Okay, very girl power. I think that's why I kept it. Yeah, gonna read this. The next one is A House for Happy Mothers by Amelia Malati. And I definitely kept this one because I love the cover. In trendy Silicon Valley, Priya has everything she needs: a loving husband, a career, and a home. But the one thing she wants most is the child she's unable to have. In a southern Indian village, Asha doesn't have much, raising 2 children in a tiny hut. She and her husband can barely keep a tin roof over their heads, but she wants a better education for her gifted son. Pressured by her family, Asha reluctantly checks into the happy house of, well, I really can't read. Into the happy mother's house. Anyway, a baby farm where she can rent her only asset, her womb, to a childless couple overseas. To the dismay of friends and family, Priya places her faith in a woman she's never met to make her dreams of motherhood come true. Together, the two women discover the best and the worst that India's rising surrogacy industry has to offer, bridging continents and cultures to bring a new life into the world and renewed hope to each other. Okay, yeah. I don't know about reading this anytime soon, but I'm gonna read this. So the third one from Book Sparks from years ago. By the way, this one, oh my gosh, Advanced Reader's Copy on sale, May 3rd, 2016. Wow. See, I don't even remember the year I got these. Clear to Lift, Anne A. Wilson. This is the third book that I have from Book Sparks. Navy helicopter pilot Lieutenant Allison Malone has been assigned to a search and rescue team based at Naval Air Station Fallon, Nevada, near the rugged peaks of the Sierra Nevada and far from her former elite H-60 squadron. That was a mouthful. A rule follower by nature, Allison is exasperated and outraged every time she flies with her mission commander, Boomer Marks, for whom military procedures are merely a suggestion. Allison is desperate to be transferred out of the boonies where careers stagnate and back to her life and fiancé in San Diego. Allison's defenses start to slip when she meets mountain guide Will Kavanagh during a particularly dicey mission. Will introduces her to a wild, beautiful world of adventure that she has never known before. Stranded on a mountain during a sudden, dangerous blizzard, Allison questions every truth she has thought she knew about herself. When Will braves the storm to save her life, she must confront the fact that she has been living a lie. But is it too late to change course? Full of action and adventure, dangerous and heart-stopping rescues, blizzards and floods, family secrets and second chances, Clear to Lift is a thrilling woman's journey as she finds confidence, truth, love, and her true self against the majestic backdrop of the Sierra Nevada. That was a lot. Okay, so the author graduated from the United States Naval Academy and served 9 years active duty as a U.S. Navy helicopter pilot. That's badass. This included 3 years as a search and rescue pilot based at Naval Air Station Fallon, Nevada, located near the Sierra Nevada, where she specialized in high-altitude technical mountain rescue. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty cool. I'd read this. And the fourth that I kept from Book Sparks is Whistling Woman by Kelly Romo. I'm pretty sure I definitely kept this because of the cover. I am a cover buy girl. I do judge books by their covers, and I always will. A buried secret keeps two sisters apart. Life went terribly wrong for Addie Bates in San Diego, and she's been running from those memories ever since. For 15 years, the Sleepy Valley nudist colony has provided a safe haven for Addie to hide from the crime she committed. I love crime is bad. But when the residents pack up to go on exhibit at the 1935 World's Fair in San Diego, Addie returns and must face the thrilling yet terrifying prospect of can't read, of reuniting with her strange sister, Wavy. Addie isn't the only one interested in a reunion. When her niece, Rumor, interesting name, when her niece, Rumor, discovers she has an aunt, Rumor is determined to bring her family together. But it's not so easy when the women are forced to confront family secrets, past and present. Set against the backdrop of the 1935 World's Fair, Whistling Woman explores the complex relationships between sisters, the sacrifices required to protect family, and the lasting consequences of a single impulsive act. All right. I like. This next book was solely picked up because it had been everywhere on Bookstagram years ago. I have no idea if I'm actually going to read this because there's so much going on in here. And that is Illuminae, the Illuminae files. I'm sure you've seen this book somewhere, but I do like the way they, I don't know, like although there's so much going on with it, look at how they did the names. I don't know, although there's so much going on with this, it is actually really cool. Look at this. Okay. There's so much. So this is actually, realistically, I don't know if I even want to know what's going on in here. The year is 2575, and two rival mega corporations, blank and blank, it's like blacked out, like on a real file when people like, scribble stuff. It's interesting. Are at war over a planet that's a little more than an ice-covered speck at the edge of the universe. Too bad nobody thought to warn the people living on it. With enemy fire raining down on them, exes Katie and Ezra, who are barely even talking to each other, of course, are forced to fight their way onto the evacuating fleet with an enemy warship in hot pursuit. But the warship is the least of their problems. A deadly blank has broken out and is mutating with terrifying results. The fleet's AI, which should be protecting them, may actually be their enemy, and nobody in charge will say what the blank is going on. As Katie hacks into a tangled web of data to find the truth, it's clear only one person can help her bring it all to light. The ex-boyfriend she swore she'd never speak to again. Okay. I feel like if I do read this, I could probably play it in my mind as a movie. Normally, who doesn't do that? But this sounds very sci-fi, but the way it is formatted to be like an interview or files or emails, it's just a... Okay, so my audio device is full, so apologies for the echoing, but as I was saying, this book is very sci-fi, and there's, with the way it's formatted, it's like interview style, files, emails. Even if it is good, I don't think that I would really enjoy reading a format like this. The last few books that I have thrifted and have had on my shelves for years, the rest are Stephen King books. It is all of these, okay? Now, where Stephen King is concerned, he is a fun author to collect his books. I know people pride themselves, well, at least they used to, I don't know about anymore, but I know years ago people used to pride themselves on their Stephen King collections. And all of these I got thrifted from, actually I think I got all these from the Airman's Attic at an Air Force base that we have here. I was very excited because I think they were all together. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. And I was like, yes, I have to get them. But the only books that I completed out of these are Pet Sematary and, oh, I actually have an 8th book. What is it? Misery. I don't seem to have finished it. I stopped right there. What is that? Page like 199. Oh my gosh, my Doctor Who bookmark. Keep calm, I'm the doctor. It's really cute. I was very into Doctor Who at the time. I remember this starting off really good, and then if I'm remembering correctly, it became slow. But I don't know if I'm ever gonna finish this. I read Pet Sematary, and you know, a few years ago, when people were priding themselves on their Stephen King collections, Pet Sematary was one of the popular ones where people said it's very scary. I've never seen the movie. I've seen like clips of it, but I've never actually sat down and seen the entire movie. So for this to be an old book and for people to read it today and saying how scary it wasn't that scary to me. I know this is a Stephen King favorite to most people out of like his other books, but I finished it and I just didn't get as scared as I was hoping to get. These were a bit disappointing. And I know that Stephen King has a tendency to have weak endings, although his movies are really good. But based on like how big these books can be, like, they're really dense. This one is almost 900 pages. This is Dreamcatcher. It says it's a major motion picture from Castle Rock. Oh, okay. So that's another thing, because I've already seen some of these things on screen. I kind of don't really want to take the time to read all this. And I'm pretty sure I saw the movie for this. I think I remember thinking that it was not bad, but not even something that continued, I don't think. Under the Dome, I think. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it just to have the collection or because maybe one of these days I might feel up to it, or if I want to just kind of unhaul them. But yes, I have Under the Dome, Bag of Bones. This actually sounds interesting. The Talisman. I don't even know like what books go together. I don't know which ones are series or what, but if these are series and they're all like this, I don't know if I could really realistically get through them. Dreamcatcher. If I were to pick one up, I think it would be Bag of Bones. It sounds interesting. 4 years after the sudden death of his wife, 40-year-old best-selling novelist Mike Noonan is still grieving, unable to write, and plagued by vivid nightmares set at the Western Maine summer house he calls Sarah Laughs. Mike reluctantly returns to the lakeside getaway. There he finds his beloved Yankee town held in the grip of a powerful millionaire, Max DeVore, whose vindictive purpose is to take his 3-year-old granddaughter, Kyra, away from her widowed young mother, Maddie. As Mike is drawn into Maddie and Kyra's struggle, as he falls in love with both of them, he is also drawn into the mystery of Sarah Laughs. Now is the site of ghostly visitations and escalating terrors. Okay, what are the forces that have been unleashed here, and what do they want of Mike Noonan? I love ghost stories, like that kind of scary scenario. So maybe this, and oh, I also didn't add these. The Gunslinger, Night Shift. I know Night Shift is one of Gabby Reed's, one of her more favorable books by Stephen King. The Night Shift, she said, it is a short story collection, and some of them were actually really, really good. So since this is a short story collection, I could probably get through this. So Night Shift and Bag of Bones that I would think to pick up if I were to pick up one of these books. As for the rest of these, maybe. But that's it for all the books that I have kept for 5+ years, books that I had thrifted pretty much and have not yet read. I should probably get to some of these soon if I'm just gonna keep them. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. See something that you like or have been wanting to read. Okay, I can't talk. Not knowing anything at all about them. I just grabbed them. Book Sparks. Do I remember Book Sparks? Did I even read the title correctly when I introduced this book? Oh my god, I'm butchering this so bad. So is this basically loosed on either her life or basically loose on her experiences?